welcome to a second edition of Baking with Nancy. This morning, coming live to you from the Kendall Tavern Inn. No, that's not true, but I want to show you how to make scones. I have a lot of compliments on the scones that I bake, and a lot of people ask for the recipe. And I got this recipe from a guest the first year that we opened 6 years ago. I was talking with a guest about how I wasn't having much success with scones, and she sent me this recipe, and it's absolutely perfect. It's versatile. You can put anything you want in it. Sometimes I love dates in scones, but sometimes there's blueberries and cherries, and you can put different fruits, and it really doesn't affect how they bake as long as the fruits are relatively dry. So this morning we have 2 cups of flour, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Don't worry, I'm going to share the recipe with you when you get this video. Into the dry mix, I'm going to add an egg, and I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk. And all I have to do is stir that up. Again, as always when you're doing something like this, you might find that it's a little bit drier than you want, and you want to add a little bit more milk. Right now, I'm making sure that the egg is incorporated into the dough, but I'm going to add a little bit more milk. I'd rather have to add more milk than more flour into a recipe. So I'm going a little bit at a time and just adding a little bit more milk. So this is at the point where I would add my whatever I wanted to those scones. And today I've decided to put raspberries in. And this is a scone pan, which was here in the inn when we got here. And I had never worked with one before, but it's brilliant. You can buy them online at King Arthur Flour if you want one, and other places too. But you can also, at this point, if you like to roll out your dough, if you don't have the pan, you can roll out your dough into a circle and cut it into rectangles, like you see most scones in a bakery like that. This makes a nice small scone, which when I'm serving breakfast is really good because, as you know, our breakfast is quite sufficient in the morning to keep you going throughout the day, and I don't want to overload you with carbs, but it's also a nice morning first course that we have here, followed by fruit, and then of course your entree. So I'm gonna get these ready. I'm gonna spray the pan with Pam just to make sure they don't stick. I'm gonna put a little something in the scones. I'm gonna pop them in the oven. So I've taken the scones out of the oven. Well, before I put them in, I sprinkle a little sugar on the top just to make them have a little crispy top on them. And I've taken all the raspberry ones out of the pan and ready to serve. And I hope you enjoy the recipe. I hope you get a chance to make it and share it with your friends and family.